What's up guys, it's Brian here, and today I'm bringing you guys a video that I've been meaning to do for so long. I kept talking about doing it forever, but now I'm finally getting around to actually doing it now that I'm back into the YouTube swing of things. And these are my top 10 favorite LEGO Star Wars sets. Now this isn't necessarily a list of the all-time greatest LEGO Star Wars sets, because I don't own a lot of what I consider to be the greatest sets. UCS Falcon, for instance. If it was in my collection, it'd be at the top of this list of my top 10 favorites. However, these are my top 10 favorite LEGO Star Wars sets that I own in my personal collection. Now, I'll explain the reasons as I go into this list, but it all depends on various things, whether it's nostalgia or anticipation factor or minifigures, or there's so many other factors that go into this list of my top 10 favorite sets. And I'm excited to hear yours down in the comments below, but let's get right into my top 10 list. And coming in at number 10 on my list is the 2016 Resistance X-Wing Fighter. This was one of the most highly anticipated sets for me from The Force Awakens. In that first Force Awakens line, they only had Poe Dameron's orange X-Wing, and I so wanted a blue X-Wing from the teaser trailer of The Force Awakens. So I was so excited when that set was announced for the immediate summer wave right after Force Awakens came out. They had a summer wave the next year, and they've just recolored Poe's X-Wing in blue. I think it has a great minifigure selection of Poe Dameron with his jacket and that exclusive helmet. You get Lor San Tekka, you get BB-8, and you get a Flame Trooper as well. Good minifigure selection, good little side build as well. And I just love that vehicle at the time it was released. It was the greatest X-Wing LEGO had done at the time. I think the 2018 Luke's X-Wing, I think that model's a little better. I was tempted to put that one at number 10. However, the minifigures in that one, the helmets were a little weird, and it was just the anticipation factor of getting the Resistance X-Wing that made that one number 10 for me on my list. And coming right in at number 9 is the 2011 Millennium Falcon set. This was another minifigure, not minifigure scale, but it was a relatively, it was a good size play set. This was the third Millennium Falcon playset that they've done, and they've done a whole bunch. They've done 3 since then. They did Force Awakens, they did Solo, and then they did Rise of Skywalker. But this was that same style, but it had an amazing selection of minifigures from A New Hope, with the Luke and Leia, Han, Chewie, Obi-Wan, and Darth Vader, all in the one set. It was just missing the droids, but you didn't even need them. They came with so many good minifigs. That Luke was exclusive because it had the visor, the blast shield, and the Falcon itself looks really good. It's very simple, but it looks just like the Millennium Falcon from A New Hope. When that set was revealed, I didn't actually get it. I got it like 3 years later, but I was so happy to get that one finally. So I have a Falcon in my collection, and that comes in at number 9 on my list. Right above that one, at number 8, I've got the Rogue One Ywing from 2017. Now, this set was not only a gorgeous Ywing, it's the only Ywing I have in my collection. It was the first one I ever got. The details on it are great. The minifigures were really good. It had 5 minifigures, and a bunch of them were exclusive. I think it had Admiral Raddus and that white guy. I forget his name. The white hairy guy. And a good droid, a good pilot, and a stormtrooper, and the price was $60 when it first came out. We all thought it was going to be $70, and we were fearing $80, but a $60 Y-Wing with that amount of detail, I just love that model. I love just looking at it. There's so much little good greebling on it that it's just, I had to put it on this list. It's one of my favorites, and when the price was revealed for it, I was floored at how great of a value it was. So that Rogue One Y-Wing, number 8 on my list. And coming in at number 7, we have the famous Utapau Troopers Battle Pack from 2014. These guys, I still just can't believe this was a battle pack. The 212th have always been my favorite. When Revenge of the Sith came out when I was in the 2nd grade, and my favorite color back then was orange. So orange clone troopers were just so cool to me. I have one of the old Hasbro action figures of a 212th trooper, and to get them in a battle pack with 2 regular troopers and 2 airborne troopers, the vehicle's cool too. I like the Octoptara droid, I like the dark tan on him, but just getting those figures in an army building style in that set was so incredible for me. I like the Kashyyyk trooper pack quite a bit, but the Utapau troopers is just far above it because I love the 212th, I love the orange, and I don't know, that's all I have to say. Those figures are incredible, and I had to put it on this list. It comes in at number 7. Moving on up to number 6, we have the Octo Island Training Set. This was another set that was very highly anticipated for me, especially just because of the Luke Skywalker, mainly. When we saw Luke Skywalker, obviously, you guys know, he's my favorite Star Wars character. When we saw him at the end of Force Awakens, and then we didn't get a Luke Skywalker minifigure in the Force Awakens line at all, or from any set afterwards, we were just like, oh, when are we going to get this old man Luke figure? And then we finally got him in the, what was that? That was the spring, that was the January 2018 wave that we got this set. And that Luke is incredible. It took me a while to get used to the hairpiece, but it grew on me very quickly. I love that Luke figure. The Rey was really good. That was an exclusive Rey because it was for Octo training, and he got a Porg. And I love the little hut build is actually really nice. It's a good little display piece. It looks good. The price was a little high back in the day. It was $30 when it first came out. Probably should have been $25, but just for the sake of the anticipation of that Luke figure and the good little display build, the Porg and Rey, I just like this set a lot. So that's why it is at number 6 on my list. Alright, we're halfway through. Coming in at number 5, it's another X-Wing, but this time it's the 2006 XWing Starfighter. This was the first X-Wing I ever got in my collection, and even though the details of the set are not totally, completely accurate to the actual X-Wing model, I loved this set. I still love it from when it was released, and it had a really good minifigure selection. Back when it was released, it was only $50, so it probably would have been about $70 these days. But when it came out, it had Luke, it had Wedge Antilles, it had a Hoth version of Leia, a Hoth version of Han Solo, and it came with a Chewbacca figure as well. So many figures they didn't have to throw in there, and I was very happy to get them into my collection. That set has been on display for me forever. It's always been a set that's, if I have a display, it's definitely going up there. And the minifigures were amazing, and when I got it in 2010. I got it pretty late. But I was happy that it was still out when I got it. That set was on shelves for quite a long time, actually, much longer than a set usually lasts, because it was like an anniversary edition X-Wing, I think. But when I got it, I was so happy to finally have an X-Wing. I was so happy to get all of those minifigures. So that is why that set is definitely sitting at number 5 on my list. Coming in at number 4 is the only UCS set I own, and that is the UCS Slave 1. I kind of not really impulsively decided to buy it, but I wasn't anticipating getting it when it was first revealed. But then as I just saw the model in person and I saw people's reviews of it, I just kind of fell in love with it. Even though I've never been a huge like Boba Fett fan, the model itself is gorgeous. And I think this was a really good, when it was out, I don't know if it's still even available. It might still be available. It was a really good introduction to the UCS line for some people. And I think this was a good UCS set as well because it actually had a good minifigure selection. Not only did it have the perfect Lego Boba Fett, but it has a good Han and Carbonite, a Bespin officer, and even a Stormtrooper that they threw in there. I don't think I'm missing anybody, right? I'm looking over at the figures. No, I got everybody. But the model is stunning. I love the features. I love all the little pull-out compartments of the missiles, and the fact that it turns and you can display it either way, on its side, or up on its, what do you call it, just in flying mode, I suppose. But the details are great, the colors are great, and it's a great UCS set, and it's the only one I have still, technically, in my collection. So that is why the UCS Slave 1 is sitting up there at number 4. Alright guys, now we're in the top 3. And this one sitting at number 3, you might be surprised that it's not even higher on this list, but it is the 2013 Republic Gunship. Probably the most highly anticipated set for me ever. When I first saw that the name was revealed, I was looking at a list on Hothbricks.com, and or maybe it was Eurobricks, the name Republic Gunship showed up as on their set list, and I freaked out. I was like, can it not be July immediately? It was January of 2013. I saw this list, or December of 2012 maybe, and I saw 2013 Summer Republic Gunship, and I freaked out. I immediately needed that set. When the pictures came out from Toy Fair, I fell in love with this set. The reason it's not any higher, there were a few little cons to it because as far as making my animations go, I did make a few modifications, like the inside, the flooring detail needed to be redone. I still think the missiles on the top look a little funky. I don't really like how they did that, but I'm just nitpicking. I'm kind of justifying why it's at number 3 and not number 2 or number 1. But it's just one of my favorites, and it's gorgeous, and it's a great model. And I've used it in pretty much all my animations. Every animation you've seen with a gunship, it's been that one gunship. My TBT review I did a couple weeks ago, it was the same gunship. So, Love that set. Love those minifigures. But let's get on to number 2 and 1. Coming in at number 2, my favorite LEGO Star Wars vehicle that I have in my collection, that'll give you a hint as to what number 1 is the 2014 Star Destroyer. I pretty much, in one of my first videos ever, was an analysis of this set. And while I was analyzing it, I kind of convinced myself to get it, just because of how amazing it looked. I've had to make no modifications to it whatsoever, as opposed to the Gunship. No modifications. This thing has been sitting on my shelf for years, and I just love to look at it. Even it's been 6 years since I've gotten this set. I just love to look at it. And the minifigures were so good. They were all new and exclusive back when they were revealed. It was the last version of Darth Vader that had the regular old classic helmet. He had good leg printing and a great face print. It came with a couple Imperial officers and 2, at the time, they were brand new Stormtroopers, and they were the best version of the Stormtrooper LEGO's ever done. I don't like the newer versions of the Stormtroopers at all. These old versions were so much better. The minifigures were great. The inside opens up completely to be an amazing play space with the bridge and the comm center, and it even has a little tiny Emperor hologram. It's just so good for so many reasons. The price was actually very reasonable back then. I think it was $130, and the price per piece was really good. So that set, it's just stunning, and I love seeing it on my shelf. I've never used it in animation or anything, but it's a great model, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and it's at number 2. But there's still one more to go. Now, before I reveal my number 1 favorite LEGO Star Wars set, you guys might be able to deduce what this is by this point. I want to go over some honorable mentions. There were so many sets that when I was making this list, I had to cut these out, even though I really didn't want to cut them out, but I had to pick 10. So, going through some of the honorable mentions from this list, you guys know that the 2018 X-Wing, as I talked about earlier in the video, almost made the cut but didn't. Best X-Wing model LEGO's ever made. I just don't think the helmets were weird. The helmets were a little weird, and the Resistance X-Wing took the cake for me. The 2018 X-Wing's up there. Palpatine's arrest was very close to making this list. I loved the minifigures. I loved that scene, and when I saw they were making a set of that scene, I just needed to have it. So Palpatine's arrest was really up there. I threw the Razor Crest on this list. I technically own it. I have a pre-order in place, so even though I don't actually have the set yet, that's definitely going to be up there. The Kashyyyk Troopers Battle Pack could have made the list very easily. The 2006 Jabba's Sail Barge, very nostalgic set for me. That was one of the biggest sets I owned when I got it in like 2006. It was one of my biggest sets of all time back then. And it had some great minifigures as well. The original Clone Walker Battle Pack with those 3 plain white clones pretty much started this whole thing for everybody. Once everyone started buying that battle pack, people started making animations. So like, that's the battle pack that kind of started it all for me. You can count any set from the 2005 Revenge of the Sith wave could have made this set, could have made this list. Anakin Starfighter, the Arc 170, the Clone Scout Walker, General Grievous's wheel bike, and Obi-Wan's Boga. They all could have made the list, but they just, I don't know. I had to take these other sets instead. A lot of these sets are now destroyed, actually. Like, I don't have a lot of them built. Like, the Jabba's Sail Barge is gone completely. All those 2005 sets are totally destroyed, except the Clone Scout Walker. But those all could have made this list. But now let's just get to that number 1 pick. And those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, and those of you who just see the background of my videos, you guys will know that my number 1 favorite set of all time is the Ewok Village. This was a set I never thought I'd be able to get. I actually was able to get it 3 years late, but with YouTube revenue, because I actually started making money off YouTube when I turned 18. So I was able to get that set. It was so far, like, it was just a dream set of mine to have that set. I love Return of the Jedi. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie behind A New Hope. And the minifigures, 17 minifigures, everyone you could think of, they threw into this set. 5 Ewoks, all of our main characters, 4 Imperial Troopers as well. And the set's detailings are phenomenal. I love the earth tones of the whole thing. I love Lego Lego earth tones, I guess. I like the trees and all the browns and greens and everything they threw in there to make the set so detailed. It's such a great play set. There are so many play functions that you can have fun with this set for hours. And I remember when the designer video came out with it, and he was showcasing all the features, and then all the 17 minifigures came out, I was like, I need this set, but I'll never be able to afford it. So then I finally was able to get it. When I saw it in the store for the first time, it was way bigger than I thought it was. I remember being wowed by that, thinking again, I'm never going to be able to own this set. And then I did, because of all the support from you guys, especially from way back in the day when I first got that revenue started to kick in when I turned 18. That was just, it was such a great moment. It made me happy that I was actually able to get it, and it is by far my favorite set in my collection for all of those reasons. So, there you have it. That is my top 10 favorite LEGO Star Wars sets that I own. I don't know if I'll ever do a top 10 like best LEGO Star Wars sets ever, because that's a much harder list to think of. But let me know down in the comment section below, what is your top 10? What are your top 10 favorite sets that you own? No cheating here. The sets that you own, your favorite ones, leave them down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this very long video. Give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed. Again, comment. I want to know your favorites. And disagree with me if you want. I don't care. Let's have a discussion about it. Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks guys for watching. This has been Brian from Watermelon Studios. Peace out, guys.